On November 23, 2019, a group of friends planned a hike to the secluded Ryan Waddington Hut in British Columbia. But their plans came to a halt when they reached the trailhead and were met with an alarming sight. Hidden within the trees was a freshly torched pickup truck with clothes and items strewn around it. Feeling a bit suspicious, they turned back and contacted the authorities. By the time the police finally arrived at the trailhead, it had already been 2 days, and it was evident that someone had meddled with the evidence. After inspecting the scene, they discovered that the steering wheel had been removed alongside some other parts. They also found a path of burnt clothes from the truck to a nearby creek. Further investigations revealed that the truck was a dark blue GMC Sierra that belonged to 26-year-old Marshal Owasa, a reported missing person. A week earlier, Marshal had traveled from Calgary to visit his mother in Lethbridge. He stayed there for a couple of weeks before leaving. He told his mother he would stop by a storage unit in the industrial park before heading back home. He got there around 11:30 p.m., but couldn't get in until 6 a.m. The keypad showed records of him entering the passcode multiple times. Then he stayed for 2 hours before supposedly hitting the road back to Calgary. But Marshal never went back home, and that was the last time anyone heard from him. There was also no CCTV footage found of Marshal ever leaving the unit. A few days later, his truck was found 14 hours away at the trailhead in Pemberton. Despite all the questionable facts, the police concluded that there was no criminal activity to investigate.
We believe that he was likely the driver, but there's nothing to suggest that there was anything suspicious that occurred.
But that wasn't all. Pictures of the truck site were posted online, and people started noticing a few items that belonged to 29-year-old Daniel Rioch, another missing person. On November 25, 2019, 1 hour away from the truck site in Squamish, British Columbia, Daniel was seen walking around town, behaving very strangely. It looked like he was under the influence of something. He was taken into custody around 5 p.m., but was released a few hours later. The same day after midnight, Daniel was at his relative's house, where he talked nonsense with his aunt for a bit. Then he walked off the porch towards Lewis Drive. And this was the last time Daniel was seen. His car was later found running in front of his uncle's house with his cell phone still inside. Due to previous behavior and lifestyle choices, it would take weeks for Daniel's family to suspect anything. They officially reported him missing on January 7th, 2020. For the next few weeks, police and families ran many search efforts for both Marshal and Daniel, but no trace was found. Besides the close vicinities of the disappearances and the suspected items belonging to Daniel at the trailhead, an eyewitness spoke up a few months later. He claimed to have seen both men together at a bar called That Irish Place in early November 2019. He also said a third man was sitting with him who seemed to hold some kind of power over them, because both Marshal and Daniel looked troubled. Then he saw them walking out of the bar and getting into Marshal's truck. However, the police never announced any relation between the two cases. And as time went by, the families were getting frustrated that the authorities refused to treat this as a criminal investigation.
One thing that we've been trying to push for is for this to be investigated as a criminal case so that we can get access to more information.
Are Marshal and Daniel's disappearances connected? Were they possibly involved in some shady business? Did they ever really cross paths? Or is this all just a strangely perfect coincidence? Nobody has the answers.